Don't mind me while I'm over here putting a refill in my tape runner while I wait for you guys. How's everybody doing? A little bit of an echo there. I think my sound was messed up over on the other side. Waiting for the iPad to catch up over here. Okay. Just want to make sure you guys can see me. I'm not seeing you on my iPad. So of course I'm not seeing any comments if you're leaving me any. Let's see if I can look this way. I see it says like 100. Oh, there we are. Hold on. Get you back. You're seeing me fine. Okay. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I don't know what's going on the iPad, but I'm not going to stress over it because the view is horizontal and there are no troubles there. There's Tiffany. Yeah, thanks, Tiff. She knows what I'm talking about. Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm now finally able to see the comments. Very good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes, this, oh, you can hear me too. Good. Thank you, Belinda. Yes, because I cannot see echo sound. Did that go away, Anita? I have all my volumes turned off. Hopefully the echo has gone. Let's check that really quick. You see a full desk of goodies. Okay, view and sound are fine. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Teresa over in Portugal. Welcome, everybody. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. I'm going to try one more time over here on the iPad, and then we're going to just get going. The teaser for this particular live, there I am. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This particular live, there I am. Okay, here we go. Here. Okay, better. Okay, so the teaser was kind of like, let's make a fun fall project, but really that's not what this is about at all. I am going to share with you, like, we're going to do a back to basics kind of thing, if you don't mind. And what I mean by that is, you know, a lot of people have been doing Elizabeth craft design, die making, and, you know, card making and projects. But sometimes we fall into a little bit of a habit, right? We do what's comfortable for us, what's easy. Or maybe you never especially learned a technique and you'd like to see it. So I thought, you know, let's start from zero and say you've never worked with a die before and you want to make something pretty. So I'm going to show you like 5 different ways that you can play with your die cuts and colors, and whether that be inks or paper or whatever. And we'll just play around. I'm going to make the same exact thing, but just use all different mediums each time. Welcome everybody. Hi from Nebraska. Ellen is there. Hello, Sir Stamp-A-Lot. Sir Stamp-A-Lot, have you all run out of the December day by day kits? Are you getting more? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll interrupt really quick before we start. The December day by day, taught by me on October 28th, is this beautiful little red planner. In some cases, they may have run out of the red planner and they're going to substitute in the olive. But it is, and you may have seen a few teasers. So I'll just give you a little peek. This is already what's been shown. And of course, when they do the little teasers, they put my face in there. It's kind of funny. But it's 31 days in an album. There's all kinds of stuff going on in here. There are page protectors, like those pocket pages, dies, stamps, super fun. So if you haven't gotten your kit yet, run and get it. I'll be posting the homework on Monday. We definitely have all red, says Sir Stamp-A-Lot. Okay, cool. Yeah, the red planner is really pretty, isn't it, Christine? Okay, people have ordered. Some people have gotten theirs already. Renee's looking forward to it. Cool. Okay, yeah, so I'll be posting the homework and a little info video as far as what supplies you'll need to do it, but that's in the private Facebook group. And the only way to get in there, of course, is to have a kit and scan that QR code. So just know that. Okay, so let's get started. Pat Ford is looking forward to day by day. Yeah, me too. It's a fun time. I'm going to be ready to go. We'll be back from the retreat, and that'll be my next big fun thing to do. Okay, let's see. Okay, people have ordered. Good, great. Mine is on the way. Awesome. Okay, so what I did is I grabbed some older dies. One is the postage stamp dies from me from last spring. That's one of my all-time favorites. And the current set in this season is Festive Harvest with the pumpkins and all the stuff. Did I just use a piece of acetate on my front page? Yes, I did, Deborah. Just to protect that first page from getting too, it gets handled a lot and turned a lot. So for right now, I do have just a piece of acetate cut from one of the page dies, but you are sharp to catch that. Also, what I want to use is one of the new floral dies, Florals 26. This beautiful sunflower from Angelica Turner. And also I'm going to show you, but not color, how I colored this floral foliage set with the bucket. Super pretty. And then I did mix in later, you'll see a little bit of Floral Greenery #1, which is beautiful. I can't wait to play with these more because I love flower making almost as much as I love planner making and die designing and all that stuff. Okay, so if you were to be a very first-time beginner with any die making, right, any die creating, you might automatically start with cardstock. So we're going to do that. We're going to do just plain cardstock. We're going to use the same dies, and we're going to build each one on this same base. Hello, Pam. Ruth's kit is on the way. Anya, hello, everyone. Okay, gorgeous fall dies. Thank you, Jean. Hello from Las Vegas, Betty. Okay, so I have die cut out just plain cardstock. Several pieces here. So a layered sunflower, a couple of my little leaves from the pumpkin set, and of course the pumpkin and the stem. And these are also, I believe, from the sunflower set there. Okay, so obviously, right, you can just layer these up and let's just see what it looks like, right? You just stick them together. I'm not going to stick them together yet because I want to show you how you can kind of level it up. So very, very basically, we might have our little layered sunflower. Let's see, we'll put the pumpkin first, and then we would add the stem, and then a flower. And this cute sunflower die has this layered little action here. So we would put that there. We might stick this back here. Now just pretend I'm just gluing all of it down, right? And we might put this one here. Maybe that there. And oops, this guy jumped away. And maybe one of the fall leaves up there. And another one down here. Okay, super cute, fine, lovely, right? And you could stop right there and you would look like a pro. I think it's just wonderful, just like that. But of course, if we wanted to take it one step further, and we've seen this a lot, this is probably not anything super new to a lot of you, but you know, let's just revisit it. Hello, Shar from Arkansas. Who else is here? Central Florida, Cindy. Is that card like an ATC? Well, it's a little bit bigger. This is the largest of the postage stamp dies, so it's roughly 3 by 4. So that's a little bigger than an ATC, right? Let's see. Yeah, 3 by 4. That's from brown edge to brown edge. So this might be more of ATC size. You never know. Okay, so I did get the My Sweet Petunia glue press because of Els. It's all her fault. She made me do it. She showed it, and I thought, well, I got to try that out. And I have to say, I love it. Super duper easy to squeeze. The glue is nice, even though it comes with its own bottle. You can refill your own glue into. It comes with a full bottle of Nuvo glue, and it sits in the little stand here, which has a silicone little pad, or you don't have to keep putting your pin back in it. There's the cap with the pin, but you can set that over there, and I'm not going to cap this the whole time we're doing the live. So I love that. All right, so first thing that I would do before I start layering up, of course, to step this up a little bit, step up this plain cardstock look, is ink the edges. You could use the same color ink as the cardstock you're using. You could use a brown like I'm using. I'm just doing like gathered twigs. Yeah, I would say it's a game changer. It's like a gun. It's cool. I love it. And just because I've had like 3 cups of coffee, I went ahead and put the little divider things on before we went live, just because. little shaky. Okay, and then of course we would ink at these outer edges to give this a little dimension. Hi from Canada, Lisette. Hello, Lisette. Lisette, I'm going to see you at the retreat, right? In just a week and a half or so. Am I right? I think I'm right. Okay, so already that's adding some more dimension, stepping that up a little bit. You could even rub it up onto those raised areas, those divisions, and that's where I would stop with that one maybe. Okay, and then of course you could do the same with the sunflowers. You could just give it a little inking of edges. Sherry likes the postage stamp dies, so do I. It's one of my favorites. And based on the numbers, whoops, it is a lot of y'all's favorites too, which is nice because it's just, I thought, you know, it's just so basic, but it's really something like an everyday element that we use on everything. And that was the whole idea when I was designing a lot of these things. Okay, so we could stop there. We could ink in there where there's all that, those score lines that are built in there. Give that a little more dimension. And then of course we can shape it, right? We know that. So on this particular sunflower, I might take a very large ball stylus and put it face down and just give it a little cupping and stirring, but not too much in the center because of the way that center is for this sunflower. And then I would give it a little stir like that. And then you do that, of course, with both pieces. Let's see. It would be lovely if you and Els came to England to do a long weekend retreat. Well, Karen, that sounds fun. Sounds like a lot of fun. I'll have to work on Els. We'll see what she's got planned for next year. Okay, and I think I want to use a little bit thicker glue just for time's sake. I don't know how fast this stuff dries, but just to hurry it along, I'm going to use a little thicker tacky glue because we have a lot to do. I have a lot to show you. But this center thing is really cool. I want to show you that. I know Els did, I think she used this one on her frame on Wednesday. You guys can remind me. I think so. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and share. I forgot to mention that. They do the drawing for the $50 gift certificate on Mondays. They tally up everybody who's been watching the lives over the course of the week. Okay, I'm going to let that dry for a minute before I do what I want to do to that. It's kind of cool. All right. Leaf, just basic green cardstock. Little shaping. And boy, the design team members to watch. I mean, so many are so talented and they do beautiful, beautiful things. But my two favorites right now in the flower making department, Karen Gerber, of course, she's the ace at her flower making. I just love everything she does. And then I hope I get her name right. Rajni, I believe is how we say it. Oh my goodness. She's been making some really beautiful, beautiful things. If you don't know who she is, she's on the team and you need to look her up because her work is just stunning. Okay, so we could add some veins to some of these leaves to add even more texture. I'm just kind of scoring it softly. I'm going to fold it back and kind of ink. And I'm working super quick, but you guys know, you've seen this. Just to give it a little bit of shape. Els is in Yellowstone today. She sent me a message and said, good luck with the live. I'm not going to be able to watch. I let her know that everything was going to be horizontal and was doing okay. Okay, so for this little guy, the center, 80-pound cardstock. Sherry is asking what I'm using now for colored cardstock. You know what? I'm just grabbing from my bin over there of scraps. And quite honestly, it's all different. But, you know, typically about 80 to some of it's, I'd say most of it's probably 65 to 85 or 80 pound. Yeah. Okay, so that little center, if you saw me cupping that a little bit and giving it a rounded dimension, and now I'm going to stick at least one, probably two. Let's see how two works of these foam adhesive dudes. Stick that in the middle. Yeah, and two did perfectly. I did one before and it kind of flattened it back out. So two was really good. So that gives it a whole lot of dimension. Looks really cute, right? So, I mean, just to give you the idea, let's get this down. Yeah, see, some of this cardstock is, whoops, is even textured. I flipped it around so it was on the smooth side. It's all over the place. So we'll put our little guy there. I don't think I've ever been to Yellowstone. I can't believe that. We camped a lot when I was a kid. And so maybe I have. I'd have to ask my mom or dad, I guess. Let's see. Let's put this back here. I think that's where I said I wanted it. And this could get popped up too, but I'm just going to use just some glue real quick because I want to sneak a few things behind there. This leaf, for example. Yeah, I'm telling you, I was resisting buying this glue gun just because, you know, glue press, that's what it's called. Just because, you know, I didn't want to be that person to just run out and buy it just because. But I thought it through and I thought, well, you know, it could be easier on the hands. Um, you know, there is that issue with having to repin your glue all the time or it'll plug up on you with the other guy. So I thought, well, I think it could be a good thing for me. So I'm going to give it a go and I love it. Okay. I mean, we got to do a bunch of these, so I can't take too much time. I got one more leaf. And the whole idea is I want to be able to line these up at the end and see what y'all think and which one you like better. I could obviously spend a whole lot more time, but just to get the point across, right? Okay, so there is plain cardstock. Now I wrote my little notes over here, how you can shade and shape, which is what I did. Or you could use pattern paper for your die cuts, like in this card here. This was a sample that I showed during Create and Craft when we were promoting the new set, my new line. And you can see everything on here is cut out of pattern paper. So you don't have to bother with a bunch of coloring because we have all this beautiful paper now. This is from the Beautiful Brights new collection. Same thing with this cute little banner that I made during Create and Craft. You can see there's pattern paper back there on the pumpkins. Some of these leaves definitely on the pumpkin there. So that's sort of a nice fun shortcut and it looks super pretty. All right, so there's one down. We'll go stick that aside and move on to Distress. And we'll call this Distress Blend. So we'll put away all this. This is a great way, by the way. The first one I showed you obviously is a great way to use up your scraps of your cardstock and pattern papers for that matter. I keep a bin of them and this is where I grabbed all of that from. Okay, what are y'all saying over here? Beautiful banner. Thank you, Anya. Yeah, I love to use pattern paper, especially the new pattern paper because, and I don't have any right here to show you. I mean, I guess this could be an example, but the patterns are small and repetitive and not super duper busy. So they're perfect, I think, for die cuts. For sure. Oh, okay. So now y'all are talking about the UK. Oh, we're working it all out, Sir Stamp-A-Lot. Okay. All right. Awesome. Just keep me posted. Yeah, I've been to England just once and I loved it. I loved London and Brighton and I don't know where Sir Stamp-A-Lot is or and where you all are thinking, but I would love to go back. Okay, another that might be fairly obvious to most of us, but maybe not to some, is using just plain regular distress inks to color your stuff, right? So 2 sunflowers we'll grab. We'll just kind of do the same, all the same dyes. And hopefully y'all are good with this and you're staying awake. Plainer designer paper and intermixing. Yeah, mixing them is a great idea. So obviously we can just use a little blending daubers and color. Doing this, of course, really brings out those, you know, those scored lines in the die, the texture that it brings forth, you know, it gets a little darker as you press into those places. So that's just one shade of yellow, that's Scattered Straw, and then maybe we'll grab like Rusty Hinge for a little darker color on the back one. Of course, you can blend 2 colors together. This is looking rather orange, so we want it a little closer to what we just did. So we'll get some more of that yellow. To me, all this coloring is very, very therapeutic. I'll show you some examples at the very end where I really went to town with alcohol markers, and was going to build a frame actually for you guys, but then Els did a frame on Wednesday, so I thought, well, I won't do that again. Okay, so you saw I used a little darker color in the center and then a darker one for the back, just like before. And we will shape these again, same way, but let's just color everything while we're at it. See what y'all are talking about. Let's see, I got carved pumpkin over here. That's good for a pumpkin, I would say. And I think on this one, I'm not going to do that skinny, those divider things. I think I'll just blend this in. And you can see I'm working from, let's see, are you limited to the brand of adhesive you can use in the stamp press? Stamp press. Stamp press. I'm not sure what y'all are talking about. Maybe you guys are talking to each other, not me. Maybe somebody can tell me what you're talking about. Sunflowers come in different colors. Pink ones are edible. Ooh, I didn't know that. I would say carved pumpkin is a really good color for pumpkins. Nice and orange, but just a little red to it. Leave a little shine in the middle. Glue press, glue press. Okay, so the question was, oh, yes, you can put your own adhesive in the refill bottle. You know, they give you the Nuvo bottle, but it's empty. And then one with their Nuvo glue in it. This is how it comes with the stand. So yes, I'm going to put probably art glitter glue in this one and see how I like that. I have never tried the Nuvo glue before today, and I like it. Not bad at all. Okay, this is Crackling Campfire, just for a little more dimension on the outer edge. 2 different tips? Oh, is that right? Let's see. Oh, that's much bigger. Oh, thank you for pointing that out. What will I be making, Sharon, when? What will I be making? Now? Later? The retreat? What do you mean? Let me know. Okay, and then I still would put a little brown on the outside edge here. Yeah, Ray, I'm glad you said that about 2 different tips, because I would have just gone right for it with my art glitter glue without even paying attention to that. And I'm thinking the whole thing comes off. Yeah, the whole thing comes off. So you could easily switch tips. Like if I felt like the one I have in there is too thin for the type of glue, I could take the whole tip off and replace it. Okay. You can also order extra empty bottles and tips. Okay. Well, you're learning how to color, and I'm learning everything else from you guys. Thank you. Okay, and then we got some green peeled paint for my stem. Now, stems are sometimes brown. I'm going to make this one green. So glue that on there. Who else wants to be green? This guy. We'll do a little light on the inside. Oh, someone asked, is the glue gun from the glue press? Is that from Tonic? It is not. It's from My Sweet Petunia, the same people who make the Misty stamp press, which I also love. Do love my tools. So that's kind of pretty. And you can see, you really get some nice dimension when you kind of, and look at all the veins in the leaves that really pop out there. Let's see, I'll do this one too. And I've just used Rustic Wilderness for that second green. I gotta keep track and not stick my green into that crackling campfire. So I'll do the same. I'll do this kind of light in the middle with peel paint. We do love our tools. Yeah, I've been playing around with the Better Press, and I do like that. There's pluses and minuses. Definitely, it's a very different tool than what I'm used to. I like that letterpress look, though. I really do. It's kind of a cool effect. Okay, there's my darker leaves. Those are fun. Rustic Wilderness peeled paint. And then maybe some antique linen for this outer part of our sunflower. Yeah, it's funny. I had every single color of Distress when they were coming out, always. So as soon as a new one came out, I would get it. And then we downsized, and I decided I didn't need quite as many shades of blue and whatnot. But you know, there's been a couple instances, I have to admit, where I have gone back and purchased one that I got rid of. You know, you decide, oh, I guess I didn't need that after all. Yeah, I would probably say I have about 75% of the colors. And even when they come out new, I don't jump on them right away. I have to make myself think about it and make sure it's something that I really, really need and like. The minis are great too. My only gripe, of course, with the minis is that you have to buy 4 of them, unless you have, like, I wonder, do the scrapbook stores, do they open stock those little minis and sell them individually? To me, that would be, well, unless you're not allowed to, I feel like that would be a great idea. Because sometimes we only need one color, we don't need all 4. Let's see. Loretta says she's new to this and could somebody tell her the difference between Distress and the Distress Oxide inks? Well, you're in the right place because I'm going to use Oxides next. Distress is just your good old water-based ink, just like any ink pad probably you could buy that's just called a water-based ink. Oxides are like a whole different creamy, blendy kind of thing. So we will get to that for sure. I'll show you. All right, let's do a little fired brick on this guy. Maybe we'll do a little yellow in the center first. Just a little yellow. Because, you know, a fall leaf isn't necessarily always one solid color. I think I'll add a little yellow to this one too. Okay. And this one too. Why not? Okay. Red. Red. The big difference with the oxides, as you'll see, is they're very water reactive. Distress inks are as well, but the oxides really kind of, it almost like sets them when you add water. It makes them blend and intermingle so beautifully. Just, I don't even know how they do it. It's amazing. But I love seeing questions like that because that just tells us not everybody has been doing this for a long time and knows everything about all the inks and techniques and coloring and all that stuff. So I love that. All right, what color did I make that other leaf? Kind of an orangey color. So let's do Rusty Hinge. Just so it has a similar look. Yes, and Yona is right. Yona is saying distress inks are not for stamping. That's a big difference between those and a lot of your other water-based ink pads. Something about the way that they're formulated. They do not lend well to stamping a nice crisp image. Like if you were stamping text that had a really small detail to it. That is not the ink I would grab for that. So that's a pretty big difference, I would say. Whereas with Oxides, you can ink. I mean stamp. And quite nicely. Not super thin detail, but if you're careful and you're not too heavy-handed, you can. Let's see, I just checked and many ink pads are sold separately on Stampers Anonymous website. Free U.S. shipping, too. Oh, who was that? Belinda? Thank you. Well, everybody hear that? That's great news. I was not aware. Yeah, sometimes I just want one little color and I go to my local Hobby Lobby and it's a 4-pack and 3 of the other colors I either don't need or want. So that's a good solution. I do agree, Femke, the VersaFine Clair is very, very good for stamping. Really, really nice. Shade this a little bit. I have those over there too. I wish they would come out with some more colors. I do have all of them now, I think. But I feel like it's missing certain colors that I wish they had. Maybe they'll get there. Okay, there's our pumpkin. All right, so we got to do a little shaping real quick, and then we'll build this one up on our little card. Susanna. Let's see, here we go. So I believe that a lot of our, maybe not just Dutch, a lot of our European followers might be attending the Dutch retreat this weekend. And I don't know anything about it, really. I did discover that, of course, Esther and David are teachers, amongst others. I found out that they are also teaching 100 people, like we are in Canada, in a week and a half. And I'm trying to picture getting 200 kits ready, 100 back to back like that for 2 different events. I don't know how long, if theirs is just like Saturday and Sunday. Maybe if somebody knows, maybe you're sitting there right now. I don't know. Somebody knows, let me know. I'd like to know. Is it all weekend? Is it just Saturday, Sunday? Is it tonight? Is it going on right now? I'm curious. What is the mat I'm using here, says Erica. This is the, this is the Tim Holtz tool set. It comes with one more of these guys. I think it's tweezers over here. Yes. I think this is all that comes with it. And then the mat. And is that it? I think that's it. This is the Tim Holtz, like tool set kit. Elizabeth Crafts used to have their own a long time ago. And I think that was sort of under a different designer at the time. So they took it with them, and we don't have a tool set anymore. But I still have a couple of those too. They came in that cute little case. I wonder if any of you still have that particular set. Where can you get them? Erica, you can get these at any scrapbook store, any hobby craft type of store, or if you're in the US, I don't know where you are, but definitely your Hobby Lobbies and Michael's, Joann's, Everybody carries Tim Holtz stuff, so I'm thinking they all carry the tools too. But obviously, your scrapbook stores, that's who we want to support first. We want to keep those open because they carry all the really, really good stuff, right? ECD set that came in the black case. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Sherry. Yep. Yep. Okay, so here we go. We're going to build it the same way as the other. Where'd I put it? We'll do it side by side so you can kind of see. Now, I could take a marker and draw some little dividing lines here, but I don't want to chance it live. I'm going to mess it up. Okay, let's see. Pumpkin retreat in Finland next weekend. Then, oh, Susanna, you're going to too. Ooh, you're coming to the Colorado retreat. Awesome. Yeah, see, I don't see the guest list. I've not seen, I mean, I just know of a handful of people that I know from classes that I have taught myself that said, I'll see you there. So I don't know everybody that's coming. I tell you what, we're looking forward to it. My husband's coming and we're making a little vacation out of it. We're going to stay early and late, just a little bit. Never been to Banff, so I'm excited. I could have made this a little darker, I see. I think my gathered twigs is getting very dry. Oh, this was antique linen. That's why. That's why it's very light. Okay, I guess the center was much darker on the first one. So if I wanted to, I could go in there with a darker marker, and I think I will later. But for now, let's just get this on here. Oh boy, I'm going to have to hustle. I just looked at my watch. We don't have a ton of time here, and I got lots to show yet. Karen's going to wait for that UK retreat. Okay. That's optimistic thinking. Well, we'll see. Quite honestly, I promised my husband no more extra classes. Just retreat with Els as long as she wants to do it. And the cruise. I teach on a cruise every year for crafters therapy cruises, and she's already got me committed for 2025. We have 2024 already on the books. Almost all sold out, I heard. Yeah, Celine, I cannot wait. I think I just know it's gonna be beautiful. Okay, there we go. A little bit of a difference with the center of that flower, but like I said, I'll darken that up later. Okay, so that's Distress Blend, and that's cardstock. All right, put that aside. Okay, now we're going to have fun with the oxides. Let me just get rid of all these now. You guys still hanging in there with me? I still see you there. No retreats for me. December days. Yeah, I mean the online classes, you can't be beat because you just do it from the comfort of your home and at your own pace even because it's saved. Yeah, 2024 cruise is almost sold out. Yeah. Okay, Oxide. I wrote here, Oxide Dip and Drag. It's one of my favorite ways to use oxides because it's like very forgiving. You don't have to be a pro, and it's not precise coloring with a dauber. And so what I would do here is I'm going to grab, let's see, let's do Wild Honey, and I'm mushing this. So you can kind of see when you look at the pad, it's kind of creamy. And this is Rusty Hinge, and then I'll go in here with some carved pumpkin, and this is just for a little variation. The shades are very close and similar, shades of orange. And then I would spray this, lots and lots of water, and get the glue off the front here. And you could do this with tweezers, and I think I will, just so my little fingerprints don't get in there, and just dip and drag. And you get the coolest effect. You can continue, but I tend to not want to overwork it. I just like that very natural thing that happens over there. Now, is there anything else over here? We could use that same color, probably this little leaf here. Even if it doesn't get a ton of color on it, you can go back in later. You can add some brown later. Who else? Maybe a little yellow over here for this guy, and definitely we'll add some brown to that one. Let's see. Maybe just a little more yellow. This is mustard seed. More water. And we will dip and drag one of the sunflowers and catch some of that other color there. So that's fun. Ooh, that's fun. Okay, I tend to want to push it around, but I'm not going to do that. And then maybe just a little deeper with the Rusty Hinge over here. And of course, all these have to be, you know, heat set. Ooh, that's fun. Yeah. Cool. Yep. Nice. Let's see, we need some green now. So I am going to clean this. I'm looking at Karen, what's your last name? McNally. She's already offering me a place to stay. Well, I think she's talking to me. I think so. When I come teach it in the UK. Let's see, peeled paint for some green. And rustic wilderness. Thank you, Teresa. Teresa Cruz is here. She is a new design team member on my team. I am so excited. If you all don't know who she is, she's a very talented designer. She's been with Graphic 45 for a long time, like I used to be. Still doing a little bit of their design work, I think, as a special projects designer. And I think I got that right, Teresa. But she agreed to make some pretty things with my release too, so I can't wait to see what she's doing. And then I also see that she got the December Days kit, so she's going to do that along with us too. What is that, Matt? Says Erica. She's new to all of this, but these are good questions, Erica. Don't feel bad. Don't apologize, because that's how we learn. We ask questions. This is a non-stick craft sheet. Many companies sell them now, and it's just a nice surface to work with like this. It wipes down, as you saw, easily. It's heat resistant, which is nice. This time I'm going to put just a little green in the middle of that one that we're going to make red later. It rolls up like a tube and goes into your tote easily to travel. The biggest seller, I think, is that you can heat on it. You know, it's a heat resistant surface. All right, so I did not grab any brown for my sunflowers. I'll do vintage photo for one and walnut stain for the other. I guess it's silicone. Honestly, I thought that it had glass in it, is what I was told. Which is so bizarre to think of, but it's kind of like those mats that you can put in the oven. That's why it's heat resistant. Silpats, I think they call those, or maybe that's the brand name. This is very fun, but you can see this is a messy one. I don't mind that, but some people don't like to get so messy when they craft. I don't care. So who's confirming? Ray is saying that it is a silicone mat. Okay. See, when I think of silicone, I think more rubbery. Maybe I'm wrong. All right, this is fired brick. This will be the last of it, I think. And you saw I put a little bit of green blobs in there. I'm going to put some red now because, oh, that looks good. I think that looks cool. And you could dry in between steps and do it again. Sometimes if you're not careful, green and red make brown. So you do want to dry those in between if you have the time before you add a color that might mix. You have to look at your color wheel and see what you're going to get if you're just going to go straight to mixing. Okay, so let's put this together. Got to add a little heat to dry it up. Loretta says, so Distress Oxide is messy while Distress ink is cleaner? Not really. And I see that you're laughing because you know they're all messy. Yeah, don't forget to Teflon mat, Andrea says. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and share for sure. I wonder how loud this is. Is it not bad? Well, it's supposed to be quiet, but I don't know how much the camera picks up on the sound. All right. Yeah, I'm looking at the time. 7 minutes left, and I have at least two more ways to show you, and I want to show you something else. So I've just made that decision right now that I'm going to put this aside, and after the live is over, I'm going to put everything together and take a picture of all the different ways that we did, because we just aren't going to have enough time. And I don't want to go super duper long, so I'll just kind of stack this up. I hope you guys are all okay with that. I promise I'll put it right here in the group. Because now I want to watch color. Let me get these out of the way. Okay, and somebody's going to ask me probably right away, what is that cool thing you have your brushes on? It's a soap dish from Amazon. I got this idea from a watercolorist I follow online, and she said hers is similar to this one, so I got it. It just has those little grooves where you can lay your brushes this way instead of straight up and down while you're using them. Okay, so watercolor. We've got the watercolor palette here, Elizabeth Craft Designs, of course, and I'm going to use the tray that comes with it to do my mixing. Yep, you can stick it in these little holes here, or you can put it up here, which I think I'll do. I'll put it up there. And I always start off with spraying all my colors so they're nice and wet and juicy. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could take credit. That idea is good, but it was not mine. Okay, so let's start with, let's do the pumpkin because he's the biggest and he needs more time to dry. Okay, so I love to do like a wet in wet. And this is a great example of that. This is another clear card that I made and showed on the Create and Craft. This is the other pumpkin style in the die set, but this one has been all watercolor, just very loose with different colors. The divider things are not on there at all, but it just stands alone fine. So I think that's what I want to do. I'm going to use some clear water I've got up here. And I love to just paint a bunch of water right on the surface. By the way, all the white that I'm using here is 90-pound soft finish white cardstock. I just saw some ink transfer from my finger to the pumpkin here. So I'm using some hand sanitizer, which is supposed to lift ink pretty well when you can't get to the sink. Loretta is watching from New Orleans. Looks more like a gourd and the pumpkin with just the watercolor. Rhonda says, yes. Yes, indeed, it could. Okay, so we want to make sure that's still good and wet because I cleaned my hands in between and it kind of dried up. And I still have ink on my fingers, but that's okay. For demonstration purposes, that is okay. Okay, so we will take some, I'm going to add a little more water. A little orange, a little yellow. And we're just going to, and I don't want to veer off too much from, you know, what we've already done so we can have a bit of a comparison. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of touch the bottom here with that light color. If I had more water, it would really run, so I'm going to add more water. Okay, and then I'll get a little darker orangey red mixed into that same color and just kind of touch the bottom. Let that kind of flow. Soft finish white does work pretty well if you don't overwork it. You know, it's a little bit different than watercolor paper. But if you don't overwork it, and that means don't keep going over it and over it and over it with a lot of water and pushing with your brush, just let things happen. I might encourage this by just pulling in some clear water to get it all to blend and go toward the center. Maybe a little deeper with the orangey red around the edges. I mean, I'm not a watercolorist, but you can kind of fake it till you make it. And this will lighten up quite a bit as it dries, so you can go a little heavy. And this is why I'm tapping as opposed to spreading, just that same reason I just gave you. You don't want to overwork it and stroke the paper too much. But I'm going to let that sit. I'm not going to do the stem while it's really, really wet because it's just going to run right down into what I've just done. Taking a class of coloring stamped pictures at the Finish Retreat. Oh, cool. Share the product number of the postage stamp dies. Yes, the postage stamp dies are number 2026. And the pumpkins are 2080. All right, I'll mix up some yellow for my sunflowers, and I'm going to add a little more yellow into this red to make that deeper orangey yellow. Okay, so again, we'll take nice clean clear water, put it over the whole thing. You can see I've got a little bit of yellow in there. That's okay. If I was switching colors completely, I would have taken a lot more time to make sure that my brush was super clean. You know, I wouldn't want to go in here with blue or purple or something. And I love how the watercolor is just settling right into those score lines of this die. I mean, it's just completely soaking straight in there. I love it. Need a little lighter yellow, I think, too. So I'm going to let that just kind of bloom out on that one. I have 2 buckets of water over here. One of them is the one I keep putting color into, and the other one is clean clear water. So that's better. Just clean clear water. That's the way you should always do it anyway. All right, we want this one a little bit lighter. Pumpkins. Thank you, Sir Stamp-A-Lot. I love Wet on Wet Watercolor, says Anne. Thank you. Yeah, I can't wait to do the alcohol markers. We're going to go over because it's already 3:01. So if you can hang in there, I appreciate you. But if you have to go, I get that too. Like I said, I'll assemble all these later, so we don't take too much time right now. But I think you get the idea there with watercolor. So I will stop. Just water and let the colors blend together. I do want to do one green one though. You guys mind? The alcohol marker thing I want to show you because I learned something new just the other day and I thought, oh my gosh, that is the most basic thing everyone should teach you when you're starting off with alcohol markers and you don't know what the heck you're doing and how to blend and all that. It was the greatest video, and I will try to remember to post the link to that video because it was really very like 101-ish as far as information, shading, blending, and she was using the clear colorless blender, they call it. Let's see, a little darker green added to the green we have. This is the beauty of watercolors. You really, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong. You can kind of just play, see what you like. This one is really kind of fanning together, blooming nicely. Really like that. And you see, I'm just tapping. I'm not stroking color all over the place. That's pretty. I'm going to let that dry. Okay. Oh, that's so nice, Michelle. Thank you. She said, I've learned more this last 20 minutes than hours of watching craft programs. Loving this. Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. And it makes me happy because, you know, sometimes we don't always know what you guys want to see or what's going to make you happy. And we hope that you like it. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and put this aside. These really need some time to dry, so we're going to set them on a piece of paper undisturbed so I don't mess them up. Okay, now I am going to take this away because alcohol markers will stain your nonstick craft sheet. I guess if you used rubbing alcohol to clean it or sanitizer, maybe it would come off, but I'm not going to chance it. I don't know for sure. And I'm still working on soft finish white, 80 pound. And I'm going to put 2 sheets of paper under what I'm doing because it definitely soaks through. And I am using the Olo markers. Penny Blaylock says sanitizer will clean it. I mean, that's what I'm pretty sure I saw that before, and I'm glad you verified that. So thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do here, alcohol markers with my Olos, is we are going to really kind of use that blender. It's called the Zero, and I have one on each end. It's the same end. It's the brush tip, which I prefer. But this person on YouTube, who I will link to later, she put this blender over the front of anything, the entire surface that she wanted to blend out. I have never done that before. And I couldn't figure out, why don't my colors blend nicely? I just kept working them over and over and over. And then I would still see kind of hard lines from one color to another. But this gal used the blender. I mean, it's called a blender, but it isn't used for that. It's more like a bleach pen is how she kept saying it, because it actually lifts color. But when you put it down first, I don't know, it's like magical. It's like a primer in a way. So I'm going to color the whole thing with this lighter yellow right over that 0 that I laid down. All right, and then I'm going to go, this was YO 2.2. I'm going to go with YO 2.3, and I'm going to come in from the center out where you would see more shading on a flower from the inside out. And already, and maybe I should do it without the 0 blender underneath first and just compare. But already I can see that it's like this beautiful blend. I don't know if you can see that as well as I can, but I didn't really have to work too hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a plain one over here, and I'm not going to use the blender, the clear, and I'm just going to do what I just did, just straight to paper. Let's see. We may be here all afternoon together, just playing and experimenting together. Oh, get there. Okay, okay. So far, no different. But what happens if I do this? Well, I don't see a huge difference. It's blending pretty nicely. Now, these two colors are very close together. I do see it sort of having a line where I stopped here, and then I feel like, oh, I'd have to go back in with the lighter and kind of blend that back together. So I think this just has less work to it for you than this. So I would do it that way. If I knew I was going to blend colors, I will show you. This is part of the teaser photo. All these beautiful bits here. This is what was happening here, right? So I had my really pretty purple leaf, and I did that base color of that lilac-y kind of blue, and then I went in with the dark purple. But can you see how, do you see those purple lines kind of stopping? Yeah, it looks kind of pretty. It's okay, but they're not blending, and that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted it to blend like I'm doing here, but we were going from such a darker color to a lighter color. That's where I was having trouble. But if I had done this blender thing first, I think that would have worked out better. So that's just something I learned like yesterday. So there's one. Let's do something green now, just for fun. I wonder how many people have gotten on the Olo bandwagon. Do we all love them? For so long it was always Copics, or, I mean, there's so many companies now that have their own alcohol markers. What happens if you use the blender over the top? I've never used these pens before, asked Debbie. Well, that's a great question, and I'm so happy you asked it, because I'm going to show you what happens. It's pretty cool, actually. It lifts the color away. Now let me just finish my leaf. This is, first color was YG 8.5, now YG 8.7. So these aren't quite as close in color. Oh, and I forgot to do the little blender thing. All right. See? This would be a good instance. But what you can do in this instance, if you did this, you have the little blender, you should just go back with that first color and pull them together. It looks really dark right now as it's going on, but it's already lightening, and the blend is actually very nice, I think. Can you all see that? Okay, so what do you do? What would you do So I colored these earlier, just playing around, showing how to blend really smooth and nice. So if I took the blender now, especially after it's fully dried, and I did, let's say some lines, right? I'm gonna do it like 2 or 3 times. It's like bleaching it. It lifts the color in those places. Now this could be really, really cool if, like her example, when she was doing it, she did a circle and then she did this crisscross and it looked like plaid. So that I think is pretty cool. You could do this on your pumpkin. So it lifts it like a bleach pen in a way. Another example she used was, you know, you could make scales on a, let's say you colored in a frog or a, I don't know, a snake or something, and you could touch little spots and add texture to look like scales. I think it's pretty cool. And the longer we let that dry, the more prominent that would be, but that's pretty cool. So there's the answer to that question. Okay, well, I'm going to continue to play. I'm going to color, but I do want to show you what I did do with the alcohol markers in my little bin with a little more detail. And these are the ones I want to put in one of those Elizabeth Craft Designs frames once I get one built. But these are the dies I showed you at the beginning, a lot of the new ones from Angelica. And I have added the clear Nuvo drops over the top. These were all done with alcohol markers. So that's going to be a little accent in the background. Of course, the bucket that has some like teal blue in the background because I printed a picture and I didn't bring it back in here off of Pinterest. And I looked carefully at this painting and it had like a blue color in the bucket. There was a little basket just like that in the picture. They also had a little blue in their pumpkins, but I didn't do that. So I did do like a white pumpkin and a regular pumpkin, all with alcohol markers. I did all these little sunflowers before I learned about my blending trick. So there's not a really smooth blend with some of that stuff. But you can see I had a lot of fun doing all these different things and shaping them. And this is all with the alcohol markers. So I will take some time, play some more. It'll take me the rest of the afternoon, I'm sure. If you give it a couple hours, I'll post a picture of everything finished. So with that said, let me get my other camera back here. Let's see. Are you seeing my face? I got to move this thing out of my way. There we go. Ooh, it's a little dark in here. So I appreciate you joining me. I hope you learned a few things or just relearned a couple of basics. I had a great time doing it. And I'm glad that everything's horizontal. So I'll see you soon. I don't know who's coming on Monday. I think Els is going to try to from Canada. So that'll be fun. But thank you so much for watching. And stay tuned for those pictures and that link to that one YouTube video, lady. Okay? Thank you guys for watching.